anytime Duke, Kentucky, it's going to be a celebration of college basketball, right? You're going to have the highlights that we know so well if you watch college basketball played. You're going to have those conversations. You're going to remember the Leitner and the this and the that and everything else. Duke's playing Kentucky tonight in Atlanta, I believe. So that right there is
in Atlanta.
It's not ideal, but hey. Get the two teams in the same place. I don't care where it is. I want to watch them play. This is not your typical Duke, Kentucky. This specifically is not your I don't know if it's your dad's because you like this is not your big brother's Kentucky. This is not John Calipari, Kentucky. The top 7 scorers, which includes every player averaging double figures through Kentucky's first 2 games, is a junior or a senior. All of them. Junior, like upperclassmen. There was a point in time where if you were at Kentucky and you were a sophomore, you should have your AARP card, or you were a walk-on.
You were old.
you exactly. Why didn't you go into the lottery last year with the rest of everyone going to the NBA? Why are you still here?
You're a disappointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't go to the NBA draft.
Or it was like 4 or 5-star freshmen decided to come back for their sophomore year, and then they had a juggernaut 12 super 5-star team because he had last year's recruiting class and this year. It's not that. They have strong veteran college basketball players. Right now, they only have 4. Kentucky only has 4 players that were top 100 recruits in their class. And none of them were higher than 39th. When is the last time Kentucky had 0 5-stars? 0 former 5-stars. That's an interesting beast.
That feels like a trick question.
It does. It's like, actually 4 years ago. It's like COVID times. Weird. Andrew Carr is at Kentucky. Andrew Carr, big man from Wake Forest, hit the transfer portal this offseason. He's at Kentucky now.
Former Blue Hen.
Exactly. No disrespect to my own alma mater, the Delaware Blue Hens. There are very few basketball players that we recruited and got on campus at the University of Delaware who I would have believed could play at Kentucky. Couple of them, maybe role players, maybe end-of-the-bench guys. Hey, depth if you need me. But Andrew Carr is he's gonna be a contributor. If you go to DraftKings Sportsbook right now and look up the player props, he's one of the guys who's getting player props for Kentucky. He's one of the main characters. That's unusual for Kentucky. Go back to when Coach Calipari was fully embracing one and done, right? John Calipari was the slick back hair, the salesman, one of the first coaches to be buzzing around on a private jet. When you take that and think of Coach K, right? This is what Duke and Kentucky were. We're looking at like 15, 20 years ago. And then I told you they're going to match up 15, 20 years into the future. One of them is going to have a handful of transfers brought in to solve a problem like a microwave, right? Just add water and it's always good. One of them, that same team that has the transfers, is going to be depending on freshmen to be their best players in a bunch of different ways. And then the other team is going to have veterans that have played their way around college basketball. They've earned their stripes. They've gotten a ton of experience, and now they're going to try to have a exclamation points of maybe a final year of eligibility. You'd be like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Duke's the one with all the experience, right? Coach K's the one that has all the 3 and 4 year guys, and Coach Calipari's the crazy one that's only returning 2 players from his season before. It's like, well, no, actually, Coach K's gone. John Calipari's gone. Duke has the 2 players returning. Maybe their 3 of their 4 best players are freshmen. They brought in a bunch of transfers from all over the country, including the 6th man of the year in the Big Ten, and they're just going to try to just add water and turn this bad boy into a national championship contender. Meanwhile, Kentucky didn't have that ability, didn't have that buzz, didn't have the highest NIL deals out there, and they're the ones putting together the experienced group that hopefully will out-veteran teams. It's a good test for Duke, if we're being honest. Right? Even though the roles feel like they're being played, they're miscast, it's still a good test for Duke. Duke does have vets, and I'm seeing this kind of as one of the things Duke fans are really fighting back against, because the maybe national opinion is, oh, Duke has all these freshmen, and the Duke fans, the Duke analysts are very much, no, we have veterans too, and because you have Sion James and you have the Syracuse transfer, you have the Purdue transfer, you have all these guys, you have Tyrese Proctor back now for his third year in college basketball. But the movers and the shakers are young, right? The Con Knipples, the obviously Cooper Flaggs, the Common Malawashes, they're young. And at the end of a game, Tyrese Proctor might bring the ball up court. He might initiate the offense. But what two do you think are going to have the ball in their hands, releasing it to potentially win a big game? It's probably Flagg and Knippel. Right? And Common Malawash, I thought it was funny. He was talking to the media about the advice some of the older guys have given him about this Kentucky game. And he was like, well, they told me to rebound everything and dunk everything. That might be a little bit more of a simple game plan. But still, he's going to be the one that has to contest shots. He's going to be the one that has to protect the rim, he and Cooper Flagg, and stay out of foul trouble and have a level head on his shoulders in these games. So it is good for Duke to have those young guys play against a veteran squad. Yes, Duke has their veterans, and I actually think Sion James is going to be deployed in that manner. I think John Shire on the bench, and Sion James is starting off the bench. He's the transfer from, I think it was Tulane. I get Tulane and Tulsa confused. Just they sound similar, but I think it's Tulane. Sion James, I think he's going to be deployed almost as like a sprinkler system. When things are getting too hot, you put Sion James in there, and he's going to be the one to calm it down. He can get a forceful bucket. He can use his strength to kind of settle everything down. Like, they have those options at their disposal. But I want to see how the young guys react when a veteran team is doing all of the veteran tricks. Like, and I know it's not this concrete or tangible. I want to see what they do when a guy that's been around college refs for a long time is tugging their jersey, running around a screen, right? Grabbing their wrist as they go up for a shot because they know the ref's eyes aren't right there. I want to see how they react to that. And again, that's more metaphorical, right? I don't actually want people getting away with fouls. I'm just saying you're going to go up against somebody who's more crafty than you. There's a great article on ESPN.com on Cooper Flagg, on everything and the hype and how it got here and what his parents did and the people that worked with him and the people at the little high school in the town of 3,200 that he grew up in. It's a very, very good story. You should read it. It's long. One of the best lines I have, and I'm going to use it. It's going to be like a motivational thing. His mom said, "We've always believed that if you're the best guy in the gym, you're in the wrong gym," which was taking Cooper. So they were driving Cooper Flagg to Orono 2 hours away to play pickup against a different team. They were driving him down to Boston to get run against AAU teams that were above his level or to play against guys older. I just like that as a thing for life. If you're the best guy in the gym, you're in the wrong gym. But another thing that pointed out was he's competitive and he's not necessarily – he's more – and I say this without putting one above the other – he's more LeBron than he is MJ. There was a story at an AAU game where, he wasn't scoring a ton, and another team's coach started chirping a little bit. So then Cooper Flagg, the next 3 or 4 times down the court, got 3 or 4 easy buckets for his teammates, 3 or 4 assists, and then he looked at the coach and said, "I don't have to score, I just have to win." That type of play is coaches' dreams. Are made of those types. Like, I'm going to fight back while getting my teammates involved, but also I need him to know, and veteran teams will push him to it, when it is time to go get his own bucket, right? AAU game, you're the best on the court. You're going to go, splash around a little, lay some assists, and then talk trash. Love it. There's going to be a point where it's like, no, just dunk this. Go Common Malawash with it. Rebound everything, dunk everything. You're 6'9", and you're the future number 1 pick in the NBA.
Imagine being a coach chirping a player on the other team.
I
especially him.
I don't want to talk as if I am an expert on this because I haven't spent a lot of time there. I don't think it's as unusual as you would hope it would be on the AAU basketball circuit.
Yeah.
The AAU basketball circuit, I don't think is the healthiest place in youth sports right now. I do think there are some coaches that maybe are living out some old dreams from playing, and if they get a good team, watch out.
I had a player, when I was coaching college lacrosse, I had a player chirp at me once. I didn't say anything to this person. I was just like, she came by our bench and just started yapping at me. I said, "Oh, you're talking to me?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice you were there."
Was it like personal, or was it just like, "Come on, coach, your team stinks"?
It was like personal.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, okay. And
all
then
right. You got like a Gary Payton out there on the women's lacrosse field?
I guess, yeah. I was like, we won by 6, but I mean, like.
And not that I remember or anything, but it's a decade later, and we won by 6. Scored twice on her. She couldn't handle our left wing. I don't know the positions in women's lacrosse.
That's fine.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Duke versus Kentucky tonight. I'm looking for the young guys to learn something.